Hi there, I'm Greg Winkler, Artistic Director of Peninsula Players Theater, and I'm here today with Erica Elam, who is one of our audience favorites and has been with the players for 6 seasons, as well as acting as a mentor in our intern program. Hey, Erica,
Hey,
how
Greg.
are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Um, so let's talk about your experience with the players. You have done 13 shows with us, and you started in your first show was in 2008
Hmm?
with Born Yesterday. And I remember you auditioning for that. I have to tell our audience that I auditioned a lot of actresses for that role, and a lot of them got the sexiness and the dumbness, but you were the only one that came in with both of those things and a sort of innocence that was absolutely right. And you were fantastic in the part. I thought you were just terrific.
Well, thanks. That
And you had a little adventure opening night of that show.
yeah, yeah. Um, I so I was like so excited to do this play and kind of like overwhelmed and didn't know what I was getting myself into. And that cast was so incredible. And that was my first equity show. That was like the first show I went equity for. And opening night, like I had this awesome, my costumes are really beautiful. And I had this awesome blonde wig that like, that perfect like Billy Dawn wig. And I had tons of makeup and hair, and I had special fingernails that I had to go get for the show. Um, and the opening night, there's this great scene with Neil Friedman, who is playing Brock. Well, and it's like the show is so funny, but there was this moment that's very dark and really sad where you see that Billy is really abused by this awful bully who is her partner, and he
Mhm.
Brock like hauls off and he just hits her in front of all these people, and I was, blocked to fall to the ground, and then he hits me again. Except on opening night, he hits me and I fell to the ground and my wig flew off and flew across the stage. And so, who's not a mean bully, very tenderly walked over and got my wig and set it really gently on my head and made sure it was okay, and then hit me again. And then I had to exit stage. I was so mortified. I mean, I didn't cry, but I was really like, I, that was opening night. I can't believe that just happened. I'm never going to work here again. My wig fell off.
Well, the audience definitely knew it was live theater. But
Adds to the.
that was a great show, and then you went on to do. You've done quite a variety of shows at the Players, not just plays like Born Yesterday that are a combination of comedy and drama, but you've done farces and murder mysteries and straight plays and musicals, and you've been great in all of them. You and also been involved with several of our world premieres. One of the shows you did was The Tin Woman in 2014, which was really cool.
I loved that show. That was such an awesome show to work on.
And yes, and then you were also in the world premiere of The Actuary and Now and Then, Tin Woman and Now and Then by Sean Grennan, and The Actuary by Steve Peterson. And I think one of the shows you had a lot of fun with was 39 Steps,
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
where the four of you, recreated the Alfred Hitchcock film 39 Steps and played all the characters.
Yeah, that show was bonkers. That was a really like I definitely didn't know what I was getting myself into when when you offered me that show. I was like, "Okay, sure, yeah." But it really is an amazing like four people have to create this whole, world. Like there's like a train and a plane crash and um a million characters, and I just didn't, that show was a very like, every night was like a wild, bonkers chaos, like sort of organized chaos that we all at the end, in the dressing room every night, we all cheersed and did a shot of whiskey every night, like we got through it. Like we survived another one.
Well, you had one night where one performance where it was very windy.
Yes, there was a night that it was really stormy, and obviously, at the Players, like the sides will be up and sometimes the doors will be open, but because it was so windy, the sides were up just a little bit because it was still warm. It wasn't, cold. It was nice to have some fresh air, but the doors were rattling from the wind.
Yeah.
So one of the thoughtful ushers thought like, well, I'll help the actors. And they closed the doors and they locked them to try to keep them from rattling.
Mm.
Not knowing that my character has an entrance where I have to walk outside and then enter through one of those doors and walk up to the stage through the audience. And so I got out there and I got there early and I was, ready to go on. And the door was locked and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I ran up and I told one of the interns backstage, like, the door's locked, like somebody needs to unlock the door. But I was freaking out. And so anyway, it was time for me to enter. So I just climbed through the window of the side of the Players. Like I just climbed over all the sweet flowers planted there in my nice costume and wig and tumbled over and said my line from the window. So in a play, the audience might have thought that's how it was supposed to be.
Oh my God. Well, that's, yeah, part of the adventure of sort of being indoor and outdoor at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But I had to get in.
yes, the show must go on. And then one of the other shows you did after that was Almost Maine, and I remember you told me a story about a mouse up in the upper housing on A deck. It didn't have anything to do with the show as much as it was kind of an adventure in the woods for you and Kevin.
Yeah, no, it's like one of the things I love about Penn Players is how much you get to be outdoors. And I think I smugly pride myself on being like, people are all worried about the bugs or animals, and I'm like, I'm not scared of bugs. You know what? I like nature. I like wildlife. But one night on A deck, I woke up. I was lying there with my husband, and we woke up, and there was because a mouse crawled across us in our bed, and we both woke up and we're like, oh, whoa, and kind of flung the covers back and turned the lights on, and looked around, but we couldn't see anything, and we thought, well, okay, the mouse is probably as scared of us as we are of it. Like, mice don't want to be around us, so let's just turn the lights off and try to go back to bed. So we laid back down and went to bed, and I woke up because the mouse had crawled in my hand, and I was like, ah! in my sleep, and I woke up and again, and we're like, oh, what do we do? And so we tried to go to sleep again, and the mouse crawled across my hair. Like the mouse was crawling. We kept flinging it out of the bed, and then it would come back in and crawl on us. And so then I was like, well, I mean, something's clearly wrong with this mouse. Like it has rabies or something. Like a mouse should not be behaving like this. It should not keep like nuzzling up next to us. And so we slept the rest of the night, and I got up the next morning, went to breakfast, and I was like, to the managing director, to Brian Kelsey, I was like, Brian, I need to talk to you. There's a mouse in my cabin. And so he gave me a mouse trap. And I was like, I don't want to kill it. Like, I feel bad, this is the woods. But I just thought, I'm not gonna be able to sleep another night with that mouse crawling in my bed. So I set the mouse trap up. And for some reason, kind of stupidly, I set it up I set it right outside my front door, like the mouse is gonna come in the front door. Like I'll keep it. I don't know why I did that, but I came home from rehearsal, and the mousetrap wasn't there, and I was like, weird. That's kind of mysterious. And then I heard a sound down towards the end of the deck, and the mouse had gotten caught in the trap, but then kept walking and wandered away with the trap on his head. He was just like walking around. And so then I had to release him from the trap, which was completely traumatic. And so I I thought like, oh, he's broken his neck. Like, this is horrible. I just feel so bad. And I released him from the trap, and then I just like set the trap back down. I didn't reset it or anything. And then I think I had to go to dinner. And then when I came home from dinner, he was there again. He had gone back to the same trap and finally was dead and had killed himself in the same trap. And I just was like, I don't know. I can't even feel bad about this anymore. This mouse is crazy. Like, he had a death wish. Something was wrong with him. Anyway, I feel bad. I don't advocate killing animals, but oh my God, what was wrong with that mouse?
I don't know. Well, one of the joys of being in the woods up there, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last time you were up was the world premiere of Now and Then, where you played my wife's and my character's wife and me's younger version of ourselves.
Uh-huh.
But it was a time travel thing. And then you also were in Miss Holmes, which was a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery. That was very fun.
Yeah, those are awesome. It's what I like. I mean, it's a really great thing as an actor getting to go to the players, because like those two characters are so different. You know, one is like this really lovable but kind of like sassy girl from the 80s. And then the other character is, I guess, like, spoiler alert, more than meets the eye, is, you know, this sort of like steampunk version of this, you know, turn of the century, like kind of badass that like Miss Holmes had so many badass women in that show. And you were saying this before, but like getting to do musicals and comedies, and then, you know, something like the Tin Woman, which is so funny but also so devastating, and like it really is, it's like such a playground for an actor, because you get to do all these different kinds of things, whereas in Chicago often you get sort of, or I get sort of typecast as one kind of thing that I get called in for a lot. That's a great thing about being up there for the summer is, you know, I get to play the good guys and the bad guys and everything in between.
Well, it's been a real joy for me, and I know for our audiences and the rest of the Players Company to have had you up there. And we look forward to seeing you up again for lots of stuff in the future.
Oh God,
Well,
I hope we can all gather again and do lots of stuff all together.
indeed. Erica, thank you for being with us today, and stay well, and we'll
Yeah.
see you later.
Okay, great. Thank you, Greg.
Bye.
Bye.